to this another chance to get your Dragon Ball fix, yet with a little bit more laid-back precision than you could expect. I am basically here to tell you that you've arrived here, up on the lookout. For those of you who don't know, the Up on the Lookout podcast is a Dragon Ball podcast with a difference. Here, we like to look at Dragon Ball with a more laid-back attitude, and try and contain our enthusiasm and gusto as much as possible with some more rational discussion topics, but most of the time, we do tend to fail, but we do try our very best here. And anyway, I'm really happy to see you here, and I hope that you follow or subscribe on your podcasting platform of choice. You can find it pretty much on any good podcasting service anyway. And if you do like it, you may be able to subscribe to our YouTube channel, so that means you can get it in video format as well. I am, of course, Masako X, your host, and joining me is my sidekick, Havarok.
Hello, I am what you made me.
And I made you to be a very dab hand at what-ifery for many years now. It's actually coming up to like 4 years since we started working together. Jeez.
Yeah, Jesus.
Time is really flying. Jeez. But I think what we can say, though, is that a group that have been working for a little bit longer than us, indeed, is the likes of Toyotaro and Toriyama. They have presented to us the latest chapter of the Dragon Ball Super manga, which is today's topic. So with that, let's get started. All right, chapter 73, Goku versus Granola.
What a mysterious title.
I know. I mean, one thing's for sure, though. Unlike the anime episodes, podcasts on the brain right here, I'm recording a podcast, obviously. But the whole anime episode thing is that it pretty much gives away everything that's in the title, and it's very grandiose. But with the manga, they tend to be lately quite straightforward. Like just telling you, yeah, this is what you're gonna get here. There's no kind of confusion here. But we are definitely getting the Goku Granola battle right here. And one thing I've got to say right at the beginning, on the first page, I really appreciate that the translator and the letterers went like the shot of the ki blast is pew 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 pew. That's cute. I appreciate that immensely.
I'm pretty sure that Granola is like shooting pew pew in his head. Like he says pew pew in his head when he does that.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, with Krillin and
he's
Trunks
not
and
that
BBCA.
serious. Like nobody cannot be that serious.
No, exact. Well, Granola's a strong candidate. Maybe he seems to be no fun. He'd love Trunks' future because his future's no fun. But I think immediately right off the bat, this chapter is a very action-packed one. It's probably one of the most action-packed chapters I've seen recently. Like, the main majority part of the dialogue doesn't really happen until, like, maybe the halfway point. Like, most of it. That's when the walls of text start to happen.
Yeah. Also, if you want a cool, if you read to music, as I do, you can listen to like Star Wars: The Endor Chase from Return of the Jedi because it fits perfectly.
Yeah, not just that, but also the locale. And I'm pretty sure like Toyotaro is most likely a Star Wars fan. Toriyama is a Star Wars fan. So basically, you can imagine that they did this type of thing. So when you're going to have the animation, you'll just like have the shots of going through the forest and then Granola and Goku kind of like wafting through like the stormtroopers and, you know, just kind of like on their little kind of crafts and stuff. You could easily have that. But I think this was a really good progression. And the fact that we are in a forest is really a good welcome sign that we are trying something new here, that we're not resorting to the tried and tested methods of doing it in a wasteland as we always do. It's, you know, it's good to see something new. What?
It's the first forest scene since the first Cooler movie. Oh my god, Cooler confirmed!
I know, right? I mean, and everyone's saying like, it's the 20th anniversary since the Cooler movie. I mean, that is quite true. It's 20 years since the movie 5 of DBZ, so I don't know whether this is a tribute or not. It's probably not. It's probably coincidental, but it's cool. But, yeah, definitely the absence of Salza is very, very palpable here. But I really do like the composition here, and the fact that Toyotaro is trying something new, and that Toriyama is working together with him quite nicely to create something new.
Yeah,
Well,
I think even the biggest critics of Toyotaro have to admit that he's improving, that he's changing stuff around, and that he's getting more confident in doing something more more original than just copying Toriyama's stuff, which is nice, which I can appreciate.
Yeah, and at the same time, it's not exactly going differently to the Dragon Ball grain, but also a little bit new. Like, I like the fact that Granola uses his scarf to loop around a tree and then kick in a Jironmino style to Goku and then whacking him down. And then he is able to like do the same thing instantly by looping himself around a tree and coming to a stop. Yeah. I mean, I feel bad for the forest taking a bit of a beating, but, there was going to be some collateral damage in there. But admittedly, I'm really kind of sad, though, that they didn't resort to, like, yanking a tree out of the ground and just whacking one of them in the face with a giant tree.
I mean, next fight is Vegeta. Wait, that sounds more like a Vegeta thing to do.
Ah, yes, of course, that is very true. But I can't wait to see that. That will definitely be a very entertaining prospect, just to see Vegeta using everything at his disposal. Because Vegeta, he is a very smart boy. So,
hey, Granola, do you like green energy? Take that tree.
Oh no, make like a tree and leaf. Mind you, Goku did throw a pun in here, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, I have no complaints with the first half of the manga because the action's really good. It's nice to see Granola actually taking some hits, and it feels really cathartic. I mean, we'll find out the sources of why Goku was able to do better in a bit, but it's just a really nice battle, and I suppose you get to about like page 12 when you start to like have a little bit of a pause, because you need a little bit of a pause with these kind of things. And you start to see the slight little bit of flickering of intrigue from Granola, just a little bit. As in, like, he's trying to figure this out. Not that he really fully cares, but it's just like, this is going into what he's going to do later. So he's kind of like putting things together, not for his own amusement or interest, but just to like, right, okay, this is what it's going to be like for the later part of this battle and stuff like that. Then I can learn it from there. But yeah, it's Goku seems to be enjoying it, but Granola, once again, he's being a bit of a party pooper. He's not really enjoying it at all. He's just like, this is just a learning exercise to him, really. But yeah, I like how he's essentially now Granola's at some points really like kind of self-aware, or it's like the writers being self-aware that, oh, you're just using Ultra Instinct as some kind of evasion technique. I mean, to be fair, Ultra Instinct Sign is mostly about defense, but the fact that he's boiled it down, this great godly power, it just helps you to dodge and stuff.
Yeah.
It's a real come down right there. So
I mean, at times Granola feels like a Western broody, edgy character put into a manga and fighting with with Japanese characters to me sometimes. Like he's like, I don't have time for all that. All those dances, poses, all that expression. No, I just want you dead, basically.
Yeah. He's a little bit more talkative than early 2000s edgy Western OCs. I mean, yeah, he's a little bit more talkative, but there's not much difference in there. But one thing I do like about that was the fact we did basically get an instant Kamehameha right in the torso, and it did do a little bit of damage, or at least it did look pretty cool. And you might be saying, well, that isn't an instant Kamehameha. Where's the instant transmission? Well, Goku was using Ultra Instinct elements, so that is pretty much close to instant Kamehameha. It's certainly
so that would be Ultra Instinct Sign Instant Kamehameha. We should name it as officials.
Of course. Names. Yeah, exactly. We need to make every single transformation or technique combo something that you could easily fit into a decent-sized sentence. Yeah, it's not just a phrase, it's a proper sentence. I mean, Super Dragon Ball Heroes is doing that with Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Controlled Berserk, Vegeta. it's getting a little bit silly now. But once again, we do get to see a little bit of Detective Vegeta here. He's figured things out and he's like very far away. And now we get to the point where Granola's got his little eye technique because he's talking about like, no matter what you do, so long as I have my right eye, it'll lock onto all of your vital points. And I'm feeling like, just shoot him in the eye. Yeah, I mean,
but I think that's the thing. Like, you know, like Goku is like, if I damage his right eye, I will take away his gimmick. No, that wouldn't be cool. This guy is cool because of his gimmick.
Then I won't get a good fight. No, I don't want that. You could totally imagine Frieza if Granola ever gets to fight Frieza. He'll just like death beam him in the eye.
Yeah.
And then, you know, Granola was going, my eye! Something like that. But
what did you expect it?
Yes, you're fighting me. I'm not exactly going to be playing nice with someone who's trying to kill me. And then Vegeta's got like, he's got a point there, you know. He has a point. Yeah. But once again, it's like Goku lets his guard down.
Yeah.
But at least with this one, they both take each other out, at the very least.
Yeah, also, I love how, like, this chapter shows something that we've been talking for some times, and this is finally paying off, how obsessed Goku is with Ultra Instinct right now. No, I have to make it right. And Vegeta is like, are you sure that you have to resort to this? Even Granola is, what are you doing? No, I have to do it right. Like, he is treating this like training. Like, he has gone so single-minded about Ultra Instinct that it clouds his judgment about the fight.
Ah, yeah, that's very true. Yeah, because Goku, he's determined to make it so that means he can win using this technique. Almost like Whis is watching, and Whis probably is watching, but there's no pressure, really. Just win the fight. And I suppose another thing that really got me a bit suspicious is that, okay, I mentioned this in my main review, but Granola has these powers, and the one where he's able to raise Ki out of the ground, that's Moro's attack. That's what Moro did.
Yeah, I have a theory about that, but we're gonna talk about it later. I have a theory, and honestly, all those powers, I understand how this rubs people in a wrong way. I must admit that this is the moment when I'm starting to say, yeah...
I mean, I was able to come up with some kind of an explanation in that.
I like your explanation, yeah.
Yeah, well, for those of you who weren't able to listen or they didn't quite get it, I can explain it a little bit better here, is that essentially Granola's training, all the things he would have done in that 147 years of training and exploration and discovery, Trombo looked into the future, looked where he would go, what he would learn, and then just gave it to him right there and then. Instead of not bringing his mind and body into the future and back, just giving him all of his potential and what he could have learned right there with no context. So it's like, okay, boom, you now know everything that you would have learned. And Granola doesn't really care how he gets it. He just wants it. And Trombo's like, okay, all right, you're no fun.
And although you can, you can have certain doubts about the ease that Granola got getting those techniques, at least it is consistent that he knows what he's doing. He doesn't have a name for those things. He doesn't think a lot about those things. So there is a certain consistency about his, attachment to those moves. He doesn't have emotional attachment to his fighting techniques, if you know what I mean.
No. He's
unlike every other single fighter in Dragon Ball.
Yeah, no, definitely. He's very much the kind of person that, hey, I have this move. I am going to use the move. Do I care about it? Well, if it's effective, then yes. But if not, I don't really have any endearment toward it. Yeah. So I find it really fascinating too that Granola is using this destructive power that may or may not have something to do with Moro, and he's doing essentially what the Saiyans did to Cereal by destroying it. And the Shigarians are really scared out of their minds. They have no idea what's going on. They're having to evacuate their colony. One's got a baby running away. And you feel like almost Vegeta might use it to his advantage. Like, he's saying, "What do you think you're doing? You're tearing apart your own homeworld. You are now becoming everything that you hated." That would get under Granola's skin.
Yeah. So people, So people think that, Vegeta is going to kill Granola. Maybe. Like it wouldn't be out of his character. But
Yes.
what I think I'm doing, like if we read, and again, reading chapter as a whole, he's doing exactly the same thing as Beerus did to him some chapters ago. Like he is basically going Beerus psychology on him.
Okay. So
In my
you
opinion.
are saying that, like reverse psychology and stuff like that.
He's like, oh, boo-hoo, my race and planet are dead, so I will become a monster. Because because Vegeta knows that. Knows that feeling. Vegeta can connect to that guy. And that's why I think he's so calm. That and that he has some tricks up on his sleeve. But before we get further to Vegeta, I think we need to discuss the biggest A-pull of this chapter, which was kinda cool, but it wasn't kinda cool. You know, like I think everyone has kinda ambivalent feelings about this.
Okay, would you like to carry us off?
After Goku having to go through, Silver-haired Ultra Instinct and beating Granola, we found out that it was just a clone and fraction of Granola's power, and Granola is at his full power somewhere else.
I don't think that's a major one. I might have an explanation for that because again,
you haven't seen the reactions in the internet, my friend. You haven't.
I have seen I have seen some interactions by people going, "Oh, come on."
Yeah, I mean, I like to see Goku owned.
Yes.
But again, like my major problem with that is like it was a cool twist, but again, my major gripe with it is that he got all those amazing techniques a little bit too easy, and I kinda agree. But it's not like it doesn't annoy me. It's not a bigger A-pull that we got used to Toriyama, and this is like a typical Toriyama A-pull. Like this has Toriyama all over it. Like it's not Toyotaro's. This is Toriyama 100%.
Yeah, because remember in this arc, Toriyama and Toyotaro are working together, with Toriyama taking the front. And I personally think that this has something to do with the Yardratian technique. One of those things that Vegeta could have learned was to make a perfect clone of yourself. And this is probably a Yardratian technique that maybe on Granola's travels in his less obsessive, mad-inducing ways in another dimension, Torombo saw that Granola traveled to Yardrat and became a student there, and then chose to learn the art of having a perfect clone, which would be very good as a bounty hunter. Yeah, that would be very useful. That would be the thing that I think he would have learned if he became a student of Pibara.
But I have slightly different ideas. So listen. The thing is, right? The thing is that we haven't seen Oatmeal in a while, and we might assume that Oatmeal is some sort of artificial intelligence, right?
Right.
And one thing that we need to remember is that, we've seen something that could look like a Yardratian technique. We've seen Morrow's technique, and we were told about it.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like, Granola is pulling a Goku and stealing other people's techniques, right?
Yes.
And who do we know from the last chapter was able to steal other people's techniques?
7-3.
Who is still somewhere behind a pickle jar inside of Hitter's fridge.
Yes.
So and he's an android effectively.
Yes.
So think about it, how awesome it would be if Oatmeal is an AI, if Oatmeal essentially got into 7-3's head and got all those techniques for Granola from 7-3's memory.
Okay.
And
All right.
the twist would be that maybe if Vegeta defeats Granola, Oatmeal could take over 7-3's body.
Oh, what? So that means 7-3 may take over Granola's body?
No, Oatmeal can take over 7-3's body.
Oh, right. Okay. So yeah, this goes back to our video that we did about what Oatmeal could be. And this probably lends more credence to the AI theory. So, yeah, poor 7-3. Like, 7-3 has been really through the mill right here. First, he then gets eaten by Moro, sees his best friend being burnt to a crisp. Then he's going to seemingly get his mind controlled by Granola's hype man, or woman. I don't judge, or hype bot. And you just think, oh, so that means then they'll be partners in crime together.
Because think about it, like it's like Granola might be strong, and we thought he was just waiting, but maybe he said, okay, Oatmeal, try to hack into that 7-3's memory banks and get me some cool techniques. I'm pretty sure he has some.
Yeah, and then maybe
it has sense. Yeah.
And then maybe in that time, instead of physically training, he did mental training.
Yeah.
And since now technically he is the strongest fighter mortal in the universe, he can easily do that. You see, there are things that it can explain the situation, but right now, the fact that we have to wait a month between each thing does allow a lot of people's minds to fester and get frustrated with certain things. So we wouldn't be getting this if this were on the weekly. We'd only have a week to process this and then we'd be back into it right over again. So yeah, that's the thing to consider here. That is very different to how it was back in the day. I mean, granted, we have these bigger chapters, but we still have to wait a month. It still makes me think, why don't we have shorter chapters, but they come out every 2 weeks? I think that would go really hand in hand with the idea of Dragon Ball Super generating more hype, because there'd be so little time in between them. But yeah, we got what we got though. So we just got to accept that. But yeah.
So another big thing here, Vegeta. I know that you said that he doesn't do that thumbs up. He does thumb back, but he's super calm about the situation. He's not even surprised about Granola's power, which makes me thinking that he has something special in store.
Yes, I mean, that's the thing. And most critically, we don't see Vegeta doing his thumbs up pose.
Yeah,
we don't see that.
Thumbs back, more or less.
Yeah, well, he does the thumb thing of that fool, he won't be up for a while.
Yeah.
That's the only one. But he doesn't do his typical one. He's actually got his, arms spread out. He knows what he's doing. And you can also see him with his earring now. Yeah, it looks good on him, to be fair. Yeah. But the fact is, though, is that, and I love the idea that when Vegeta, he's loving this. He's going Die? Why don't you? Go on, join the rest of your tribe. And then, he's loving this. He actually really wants to kill him. But he won't. He won't, though. But he will definitely indulge Granola's desire. Because he's probably seen, he's completely obsessed. So why don't I just feed him up? Why don't I just, humor him? Make him really get involved, and then he'll be Saiyans must die! Saiyans must die! He gets obsessed, manic. This is why. This is a good justification as to me killing him, and then Vegeta's playing him the whole time.
Yeah, and also I think that he understood Beerus's lesson that he wants Granola to get so angry that he became essentially he wants to show he wants to do what Beerus did to him, what Beerus has shown to him about having to be a cold fury instead of hot one. He wants to piss Granola off, so he will be inaccurate.
Yes,
basically.
Of course, because we have seen time and time again in Dragon Ball, when the bad guy gets in a bad mood, they don't perform as well. We see that with Frieza, we see that with Semi-Perfect Cell, we saw that with Kid Buu from time to time, and even Super Buu when he was in the corner. Yeah, that's very true. So we could easily see maybe not Vegeta being stronger than Granola, but more assured, more controlled when Granola starts to make mistakes. Because sure, he may know these attacks and techniques, but he doesn't know maybe how to adapt when things are not going his way. So it could compound, as in he has one mistake, then another, then another. He starts to get frustrated with himself. Then Vegeta seizes the moment, because remember, Vegeta may not be the strongest of the two, but he's the smarter of the two. He's a very analytical guy, because in the Tournament of Power, he was able to dodge Jiren without Ultra Instinct using Blue, and because he could actually understand how Jiren moved. So he was able to make up for the inefficiencies and the lack thereof of himself with Kakarot. So he can make up the difference in some ways, just not in the traditional sense. Because remember, Vegeta definitely has means to adapt things that he's learnt, because Super Saiyan Blue Evolution, it may have a dumb name, but that's his thing. That Goku respects as has not gone down to copy. That is Vegeta's thing. And that's the thing. Vegeta will always have his own variations of a theme.
Yeah. I wonder what would be his method of, defeating the whole vital point things. We know that, the whole Silver-haired Ultra Instinct kinda counters it, which is nice to know that. My theory is that, which I shared with you before, but let's share it with our listeners.
Yes, do.
That maybe what Vegeta learned with his Hakai abilities is an ability that will allow him to annihilate Kai, Kai. Yeah, annihilate the serious Kai. Annihilate Ki. And, and like counter Ki attacks by simply destroying the energy, right? That would be kind of cool, because I don't think we've seen something like that, like somebody who could destroy effectively other fighters' projectiles.
Yeah, that's true. So the ability, because Vegeta at this point, he can't destroy people, but he can destroy energy, combining that with Force Spirit Fission. Like, he's able to pull energy out of people. And I liked this idea that you had, that maybe he might convince Granola to resort to his clone. And then maybe being able to, every punch that he gets reduces the power of Granola's clone. And then Granola, he has no idea where this energy is. And then it's like above, or it's gone to Vegeta. So, or, maybe there could be this cool thing that Granola then spots all the cloud of like Ki right above him. And then Vegeta goes like, oh, that? Hakai! Boom! And it's all gone. And then Granola's left having to run away. Like, he won't be killed, but he'll have lost enough power to need to run away. And then Vegeta has enough to get Kakarot back to the Heater ship, and then, so you played us for a bunch of chumps, you? Explain! And then the Heaters then have to tell the Saiyans the truth. And then da-da-da-da-da. And that's how it could easily go, in my own opinion. But I liked your idea of like using Hakai and Force Spirit Fission in some way to combine the two. And that could easily be good. Because it's clear, Vegeta has a plan. He's got an idea. He's not scared. He willingly jumped into the fray. And this is more than just his usual bravado.
Yeah. And also, like, he wanted Goku to fight first in order to, to assess the situation, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
He came up with this idea on the fly, realizing who is he fighting, how does he think, and...
Yeah, and by the end of that battle, he pretty much had everything that he needed. He has figured out Granola and therefore the Ceruleans. So he now has all the information he could need, and therefore now he's on the warpath. And I think this is good. This is more than just Vegeta being a patsy or something like that. He is going to do well in this battle. He may not outright win against Granola, but he will certainly do enough to be able to get Granola to either retreat or, concentrate his efforts elsewhere. Like, he might just say, oh, I'm using too much energy. I'm going to go after Frieza now, and then escape. He'll make up some cockamamie story by saying, you're not worth my time. I will come back and kill you. And then we'll see the next part. Because if it's clear, it's too early in the chapter to just kill Vegeta and Goku. It's just, this is the first battle. And remember, as Krillin and DBJ once said, Gohan, Dragon Balls. Oh, now they're killing Dragon Balls. If Goku and Vegeta are killed, just bring them back. Boom.
Or
there you go.
Even Cerealian Dragon Balls.
No, well, you'd have to find the 2 Dragon Balls. I mean, at least the Heaters would have to. Mind you, they do have a Dragon Radar.
Yeah. They might panic and. So yeah. I wonder if Frieza will be prepared. Like, my biggest question right now, because we haven't seen Frieza in a while, is, did Frieza train from Broly movie?
Yeah,
I think he might have right now.
At least a little bit. Yeah, just enough so that means if he ever had to go and fight Broly again, it wouldn't be him being pummeled for an hour and a half. Yeah, maybe only for like an hour. just reduce the pain. But yeah, I think it would be the right time in about maybe in a chapter or 2 to see Frieza. I'd say chapter 75 would be a decent time to bring him in. Because we haven't seen him. We haven't seen him all chapter, I think.
Yep.
So,
last time we see him was in that extra panels from Moral Saga that he was like, nope, I'm not getting into this.
Yeah, which was actually a very good way of just answering the questions about, oh, is Frieza going to show up? And then you just go like, straight from Frieza. Nope. So, fair enough. But I think we can come down to our conclusions now. So this chapter, I wasn't really sure what to think about it. There are some cool bits. It's not a boring chapter in the slightest, but there are some moments where you kind of go about Granola like, yeah, okay, that is a little bit much. Yeah, it's enough to make you feel a bit, hang on a minute. Like, not enough to completely condemn Granola or think, oh no, he's a terrible character, but enough to go like, hold up there. We need to talk, mate. But I'm certainly excited for the next chapter because quite clearly, Vegeta has some kind of thing up his sleeve. He knows something that we don't.
Also, one of our theories, again, has proven to be true that Cerealians were indeed, like, this wasn't just a simple invasion, that they were, like, Saiyans were, hired to kill them specifically, and it wasn't just another invasion.
Yes, this wasn't... Yeah. This wasn't this invasion of the planet, not to conquer the planet. They didn't want the planet. They just need to take out the civilians because snipers, no sniping. Yeah. So some of our theories have proven to be true, but there is still plenty more to be had here. But we are intrigued. We are certainly intrigued for more. So we thank you very much for listening, everybody. And once again, thank you for being here.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure.
And we shall see you again for the next chapter review, or maybe if we get some more information about the Dragon Ball Super movie, we'll be back with a special episode. So do subscribe or follow on your podcasting platform of choice, and we thank you for listening. And we hope to see you again very soon. But until then,
thank you.
Stay safe, everyone, and we will be seeing you soon. Take care. Ta-ra.
See ya.